Tell me, do we get what we deserve? Oh, we get what we deserve. And we're down, we go, oh, 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 we're down, we go, oh, 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 so we're down, we go, oh, 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 way down, we go. Oh, you let your feet run wild. Time has come as we all fall down. Never fall to fall. Do you dare look her right in the eyes? Yeah. Oh, first day we run you down to the door. Yeah, Sunday we run you down see you fall. And they will run you down see you go. Yeah, see you can't go no more. And we're down, we oh, 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 we're down, oh, 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 say we're down, oh, oh, I say we're running down, see you, oh, way down, oh.
Okay. Tracker E is going to open up, and we're going to go over what we're going to go over tonight.
Good evening, everybody. Glad y'all are here. Tonight, we're really excited about tonight. We are going to talk about the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch documentary that we have made and have available for purchase, and how it would compare to the movie Prey that we just got to watch today. We've been so excited. It's out on Hulu. Prey is based on the series of movies Predator, except it's set back in the earlier in the century and set in a Native American village. And our question was, if they had access to our DVD, what would they have been able to do or see or avoid in that movie? And we're excited because tonight's going to be just us talking with you guys that have seen the DVD and that have seen the movie Prey, and how you would compare the two, or what you noticed that throughout the whole movie when we went and watched it with our friends, and also ate the best roast ever. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
But through the whole movie, we're like, it's in the DVD. That's in the DVD. That's in the DVD. And I'm talking about the movie Prey. So that was pretty exciting, and we can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about that. and we're going to do some announcements, and we're going to play a tape of some questions that we asked this family before we watched the DVD with them. It was the first time they had seen both our DVD and the movie Prey, and we asked them some questions that we would just ask anyone in general, and they gave us, I would say, typical responses, just, very representative of answers that we normally get. So we're going to play that tape first after the announcements, and then we'll get into talking to you guys. We'll click into the chat. So
Okay, so we are going to open the comments up in just a moment, but everybody says hi and how we're all doing. We have two Facebook group pages. One is the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, in parentheses, Antlers and surrounding areas. Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Sun Center and Database. Two group pages on Facebook that we link these streams to afterwards. People have said that they're not finding these on YouTube, so you can join those pages, and we also link these two right after. Here on the screen we have a Cash App, $, capital Tracker, capital Ella. It's $101 for the Bigfoot documentary. Also, the PayPal link is in the comments and the description, and also my email address. We put that this time. A lot of people were asking about it. We still haven't had a chance to put that spiritual cleansing DVD together for everyone yet. We're just waiting on some internet to come through, but we also have my email in the description, but you can also email TrackerE at all lowercase lead TrackerE at gmail.com. Also, if you need to use a money order, which people have asked about, that is Jerry Williams, Jerry, also in the description. Williams, P.O Box 655, Antlers, Oklahoma 74523. And then here in just a second, we're going to open up with a prayer. But we also, we're going to open up the comments in just a moment. But if anybody knows Mary Stroughton, we left comments for her the other day to get a hold of us. I believe she's the one that has dogmen scratching at her door. If that is you, and we talked yesterday about using the horn and things like that, another friend has bought a DVD for you. It's they've watched the DVD before. They've bought this DVD for two other people, and they're going to buy this for you too, because they know that certain people do need it right now. We were even talking about how some people had received their DVD and had an encounter that night. So if you are in those areas, and also to our other viewer who we talked about the money order, we will be getting that to you, bright and early. We know you also need it. And make sure you share the DVD with your neighbors, your friends, your family, even the skeptics in your family. Just get them to watch it. Just sit down and watch it. So that is the PayPal link, and the Cash App is on the screen and in the description. And we'll ask TrackerE to open up with some words, and then have her, as usual, go over the comments first, and then we'll open up after that on the topic and everything that we're doing tonight.
Father, we thank you for allowing us to be here and giving us this platform. We ask for discernment, and we ask that you will clear the path for this knowledge to reach everyone that needs it. We ask your hand of covering and protection over all of us and over this broadcast now and in the future. In Jesus' name, amen. There's two verses we would like y'all to look at, or we would like to start with tonight. Two Bible verses. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. Ask questions and research and learn for yourself. Don't take everybody's word for everything. And pray about it. When you get an answer, pray about it and see how that feels to you. The next verse is Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because they rejected knowledge. I think those are both self-explanatory, but look into those verses.
Yeah, like even tonight, we're just going to be basically just talking. It's going to be talking with the people here. There's no lesson besides the lesson of having this DVD compared to not having this DVD, and the things that you will know and learn from visually seeing, what's in this DVD. It's something just to talk about it, but until you see where we're at, where we go, and the things that happen that you really don't understand yet. And we're going to be talking with people tonight who have had the DVD and watched the movie Prey. And I do know that a couple people did watch the movie Prey who doesn't have your DVD yet. We're going to try to include you in to those answers and what we're talking about. But until you see the DVD, we may be mentioning things that it may click too, especially because they're in hot areas, hot zones. So a lot of things that we talk about is going to click, I'm sure, because we do know you're in those zones.
And if you haven't seen the movie Prey, there's going to be some spoilers. So that's the whole point of the show, is to talk about the movie.
Yeah, so if you haven't watched it, it's better you listen tonight and then go watch it. That's the short. You'll get the short version or the quick version of people who's watched the DVD, who are going to be speaking and talking about the movie Prey. And some people even watched. They went back and watched the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in, I think, 84 or something like that, or something. But so they're here. I mean, they're paying attention. This is, if you've been with the channel for a while, you understand that this is an educational channel. It is for our tracking team. We share information with each other like we would in the classroom. Some of our trackers in other states, so we can't be with them at all times, but this is a good way for us to talk about certain things or certain ways we do things, or what to look for and things like that. So if you haven't been with the channel for a while, kind of just listen to what everybody's talking about. Kind of make sure you watch a couple of past videos that we've been streaming, and try to make it to the ones that we have from here on out, because we're always talking about something, sharing information that a lot of people don't have, and it's a lot of information that's all compiled also in the DVD. So I'll go ahead and get to the comments and you take
yes over. And normally we don't talk through the lesson, so if you're new too, this won't be the norm of the comments. We're excited to get to read the comments during the stream. Usually we can only get to the comments at the end, so we ask people to come in and say their hellos and not pass notes in class until the very end.
Yeah. But
tonight we all get to talk all the way through. So
about the topic that we're
yes
about what we're on.
Yes.
And I just have to say this because we did have some guests yesterday. after we got through with the lesson, they had a question about something else that didn't pertain to the lesson, which was quickly assisted, as far as another channel had said that they would talk with them afterwards about that. But that, when people do that, that lets us know that they didn't hear the lesson, or they weren't paying attention, or they're just here to get at some kind of question, or some people do it just to interfere. But when we give the lessons, that's the only topic that we need questions on.
We noticed even with the DVD that while it's playing, and this has happened a few times.
Yeah.
People are asking questions, but then they can't hear that the questions are being answered in the movie.
Yeah.
So when you do get the DVD, just try to. We packed it so full and so meaty and took out every breath that we could to get it condensed in there. So there's important things within just a few sentences that you could miss a whole concept that could keep you or someone you love safe.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do get them, watch it several times and watch it uninterrupted.
Yeah, because we've traveled and we've brought this documentary to friends and family. We brought our own DVD player because sometimes it didn't work in our friend's PS4.
No, it will in
today.
a 3, but not a 4.
It will
It's
in a 3,
Blu-ray.
but not a 4. A PS4 Blu-ray won't work in there. So a PS3 or a newer Blu-ray, I would say. We've had that problem, and we took ours there, and it worked perfect. So just check into that. Let's see. What else before we start?
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, we're going to start. I'm going to get to the comments and let Tracker, or have Tracker E, go ahead and start with her part, I guess.
Linda Garcia, hola, Jerry, Tracker E, and everyone. Good Sunday. Happy you got to see the movie Prey. I'm so excited. We were too. It was a great.
Yes,
movie.
we were.
Great movie.
It was so good to
They
see
cast
that.
it very well. Lisa Lou, hey y'all, how's everyone doing today? We are doing great.
Good, Lisa Lou. How are you doing? That's awesome to hear from you.
North Kasachi gal, hello, blessed evening to you too.
All right, good to hear from you. Glad you're here.
Bernice, hey, Bernice is our warrior out there in Louisiana. Hey, good evening. I love the movie Prey. Checking in.
All
Glad you're here.
right.
SMA Mommy.
SMA Mommy.
The DVD is a must. Everyone needs the information. Much love, respect, and blessings to you both. XOXO. Hugs and kisses.
Yeah.
Little hug, little kiss, little hug. If you watch Nacho Libre, you'll get that. Okay.
SMA, have you seen the movie Prey?
Did you get it yet? Do you know if the predator lives here on Earth or just comes to hunt or to learn the environment? Little Red Panda would.
Now, we'll get back to that question in just a moment.
Should I write it down?
Yeah, we'll write it down.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that question up there.
Oh, good. Okay.
And that way we'll be able to come back.
Little Red Panda, watch the movie. Good, good, good.
Good. Little Red Panda, do you have the DVD? I don't think you do. But we're going to also include you in, because you did watch the movie Prey, but some of our viewers has the DVD and
and they're here every night for the lessons.
Yeah. So we're going to include, but there's some questions that may not pertain to the movie, but we can answer those at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. And she said that she has watched the movie.
Good. Your DVD, I got it as soon as was possible. Definitely, I got it as soon as was possible.
Oh,
good.
Great.
Then you got a code name that we're not putting the two names together.
Yeah. So you've got a different name there.
Okay. Well, good. Very
Panda
good.
Wood. Secret Agent Panda Wood.
Yeah. Okay.
So so you are definitely in tonight.
Oh, have not watched it
What?
yet. Okay, well, you're really going to be interested now.
What?
Oh, this
Claudia,
is Claudia.
hey, all
Okay.
right. We sent you
Okay,
some
sorry, we
emails.
didn't put that together yet.
We didn't get those emails back.
Good, glad you're here. Glad you're here. I'm here to learn.
All
Yes, you
right,
make that
all
very
right.
clear.
I'm glad. Well, oh, you gotta watch that DVD. I mean, just
Yeah, it's got to be Blu-ray.
yeah, and as soon as you can, and have a party. Have not a party, but like today we had some friends invited us over. They had a potluck kind of dinner. We had some roast and some assortments, and
Good news.
it's all good stuff.
To learn more of it. Yes, good.
All right.
Good. We know you are. Should we do the recording of the questions we asked the people?
Yeah, that sounds good. We're going to do some.
This is just an audio recording of the family that we had dinner with today and watched the movie with them. And should we scroll through pictures while they listen?
We're going to put it on one picture. Just listen to this. This is an interview of just people who's never seen the Bigfoot documentary and they've never seen the movie Prey. So this is what maybe some of the viewers out here would be like. If you haven't gotten your DVD and watched the movie Prey, then you would probably answer exactly the way this interview went. And it's just a casual interview because we're with friends, but we were wanting to share this with them for a long time, and we finally got this opportunity.
There may be a few cuss words in there, just
Yeah, so we're all grown and they're not much.
Right.
And remember, it's a family. They're together with their family. We're
not there to.
Yeah. So you know how brothers and sisters and
It was fun. We had a fun time. We had a good time.
Yeah. Little Red Panda Wood has said,
sorry we got to work, but yes, mother, daughter, and I pay more attention to everything around us. Very good. Glad to hear that. Everyone needs to be doing that.
Good. So we're going to play this first clip. It's for 50 seconds. It's the first part of the interview. And just listen to the way whoever doesn't have the DVD and hasn't watched this movie Prey would answer. And, whenever we ask the questions in the interview, answer them yourself. Say it before these people say it and see if it doesn't come up to be about the same answer. But we're going to listen to that for just about 50 seconds. So, has anyone ever had an encounter?
I think something like any fun.
Okay, that's smart. Where has most of the information came from that anyone has here?
YouTube.
Most of it from you, and then a bunch of documentaries that I've seen on Discovery Plus about Bigfoot, all the Bigfoot hunter shows.
I've heard of
But I know a lot of those ain't
people
true.
around here. I've just heard stories. Little campfire stories. That's what it was.
I mean, you're since I was a kid. Tell them what you found on the ground.
Okay, so most of those answers, the first part, it was questions like, where did you get your information? Where did you learn about Bigfoot and things like that? 90% of people, maybe 99% will say the same answer. Documentaries, YouTube, campfire stories, and although we do know these people, so they did include us for that information.
Discovery Channel,
that's coming up also. So now we're going to listen to the second part of this. It's about 9 minutes, but you get to hear exactly what we're talking about with a normal family, I guess you would say. Um, Normal answers, a normal person who's never seen a Bigfoot, who who's never seen a translucent Bigfoot, who doesn't know the origin, the DNA. But they're getting their information from YouTube. They're getting their information from all these old Bigfoot documentaries that we tell people don't even listen to because they're doing everything wrong in there. So this information that they're getting is, that basic information. This DVD, it goes back to the origin, to the Bigfoot of today, to Dogman. It covers everything. And we did notice, not just with certain families, but with every family, that when certain things are just about to come up on the screen, people will turn away for at least a second. Like there was a Bigfoot right there, and they're doing something, and then they'll turn back around right whenever that image has passed on by in the film. And we're this is the way people would normally be doing it, because we're not always there, with people watching this video with them to answer questions. And we don't even want to answer questions. We're just there with you to watch it. And then afterwards, we can talk with you about it. But during it, we don't want to talk to you. We just want to let you get your information, get your knowledge. And
because also, even if the person watching, even if you know what's going on or have seen it, you're still talking over so the other people can't hear what's going on. And that's also, honestly, it's spiritual warfare, whether people recognize it or not.
Sure.
Anything that leads to exposure of any of these kind of things that are predators, spiritual or in the natural world, it's just, there's distractions that'll happen to keep people from exposing them. So
yeah, there's distractions. I mean, and sometimes we tell people, if you're going to watch this channel, have the kids go into the other room, have the husband or the wife go in the, unless everyone's paying attention to the same thing, that, just sit there and listen. Put the iPhone down, and we've also covered the difference between hearing and listening. And hearing is whenever you're distracted doing something else, maybe looking at your phone, writing something down, maybe paging or texting or messaging on Facebook. That's when you're hearing. But when you're listening, you don't have those things on. You're listening. You're watching what we're saying, our movements and things like that.
And if we seem intense about it, it's because it's such a serious thing. I mean, we're literally trying to save lives, and it's that serious to us. And that's why we may seem like so strict about some things, but that is why we're driven because of a lack of time and the seriousness of the thing, the issue.
And this is all the information people are allowed to have. This is the only DVD of its kind, the only place you're going to get information like this, knowledge like this. And we can even say the only place you're going to get it in the world. No one else has put this together for you. Little Red Panda Wood.
Those TV shows and YouTube are misleading people and placing them in danger. They absolutely are. And they did me too. Everything that we're, and I don't want to say getting on to y'all about, just that we're advising y'all of. I used to do all those things myself, every bit of it, the whooping, the tree knocking, the glyphs. It was dangerous for me to be doing too, and I didn't realize it. And that's also why I'm trying to make up for some lost time for anybody that I may have missed, that may have followed my example and gone out there and gotten themselves in a situation.
And it does happen. And like Little Red Panda was talking about the TV shows, we see them with the big call blast things out there. They're way out in the middle all these predators. And predators, that campfire in that valley, they're up in the mountains. They can all see that fire that you got down there. And they're all, once you start making noise, because Bigfoots are attracted to human voices. If you're out there talking real loud, making noise, they will be coming to visit. They will be coming to see if what you have to eat. They're predators, they eat.
When you come on our pages and make jokes about being bait or about them being friendly and about we know too much, we've seen too much photographic evidence, we've talked to too many people with the experiences, we just know too much, and in what we've seen ourselves too. We just can't allow that to be a platform on our page. It doesn't matter how much we love you, how sweet you are, how wonderful you are. You can't use our pages as a platform to cause more disinformation. We're out here trying to fight back against that wave of disinformation. We can't have you muddying the waters.
And no guessing, no opinions, no I thinks, I believes, maybe, could this be? I heard, someone said. We're giving you the straight facts. This DVD gives you, and like Tracker was saying, the person who was watching the film today, every time they would ask questions, their answers would be right there, except they're turned around looking this way, trying to get it when we're pointing back. There's your answer right there. And every time. And there were some other friends there who we would say it's in the DVD because they had seen the DVD before the movie Prey. So they knew what we was talking about when we'd laugh and say it's in the DVD. But they would say, or they would turn around and laugh and go, it's in the DVD. Mm-hmm. But these other shows are misleading. They do put people in harm, and in our DVD we do talk about whooping, tree knocking, gifting, mind speak, and things like that. It's just packed with information. 11,529 words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The rest of the tape.
Yep. So we're gonna play the second part of this tape. Second part of the interview is about 9 minutes, and it's the same questions that we are forming a questionnaire for people who we meet, to have them answer some of these same things. So just give a quick listen, and we'll be right back. We'll let you listen to this.
I know how they communicate. I've seen them wood knocking. On TV, wood knocking, Is it to warn them, or is it to keep them away, or are they communicating?
I don't know about that.
I want to see your. I agree when I see you making that noise. When you go out in the woods and stay long enough, you gonna hear all kinds of noises that you can't explain. I've been there. I'm not scared. I go out there and stay by myself now. But I mean, I don't care what woods you're in. You're not always at the top of the chain. You better be aware.
Absolutely.
I mean.
Yeah, the wood knocking.
When people hang gifts in the trees.
Yeah, just give them any, like that kind of communication.
Taking them food,
Putting
taking
them
them
about
dolls,
where you know it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that could have got that.
I find it hard to assume because if there's that many in there communicating with each other, there's no way somebody ain't caught them on a trail cam, a satellite, something. And an air, some more hard proof other than just. I've never really seen no hard proof other than what you see on TV. And I seen that in the woods. I was 12 years old. I've not been high.
And where was the first place that you seen a bear? Was it out in the forest? Was it out in the mountains? Was it on TV?
I've never seen
and then a zoo.
Yeah, I've only seen a bear at the zoo.
I've never seen a bear in the woods.
Okay. I was just asked that question because most people hadn't seen Bigfoot unless it's on someone else's cam or.
But they believe it's out there without actually seeing it.
The reason I know a bear got there, though, my family had brought one in there and killed it. My family's hunters. We usually go after what we don't understand.
And then whooping, y'all know what that is, right? Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
when they go out there and try to yell.
I mean, I've seen a lot of that on
What do you think of them doing that?
Bigfoot hunting. To me, to be honest, Bigfoot hunting and all
We
that.
all have a subscription to
I've
Discovery
been in-
Plus, so
I've
we've
been in the
seen
car
some stuff a little bit.
And I'm not buying into it. I mean,
Have y'all ever seen orbs?
Of light?
Yeah, ball,
Yeah.
light.
Always. I've seen
Like
Orbs? Have you ever seen orbs?
What?
Orbs?
What have you seen of that? Orb. I mean,
The floating
Sometimes
balls of light or energy?
I don't know. I
I've
just see
seen a lot of
things all the
things,
time like that. Like
Have you seen
rays of light and orbs of light. Like you don't have like a relationship with the
UFOs
sun.
Well, they can open up your mind to things that aren't there.
Have y'all ever seen
But I'm saying
UFOs?
just because
Daddy.
Have you ever
Her
seen
name is
UFOs?
Ellie.
We seen things in the sky, lights in the sky.
because you
Unidentified flying
were
object.
on something doesn't mean that.
I didn't know what it was. It couldn't have been a drone because
Your filter's open.
it was in one spot in the sky as a red light and then it disappeared. It was several miles over that quick. I was like, no, that ain't no drone.
You're silly.
What would you think of as a Bigfoot ambush area? Where would you think a Bigfoot would ambush people, animals? Where would they ambush?
In the woods. When they're alone.
I don't think they go after anybody with guns or larger groups.
Okay, y'all lost
I
it.
But I think they would target somebody by themselves just out in the woods.
The dog ball.
There's people in them mountains that go up this area all the time. I mean, that ain't been found today.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do y'all think that do y'all think that the government or the military knows anything about them?
They know everything. Hysteria.
Is that true or is that what they tell us? For me, I
I
can
mean,
handle
there's some
anything
people
as long
with a
as I know
capacity
what I'm dealing with.
to understand what's going on, and then there's some people who are going to freak out.
You're right.
What is
Yeah,
a
mass
reasonable
hysteria.
size that everyone would think a Bigfoot its height would be?
The average big.
The average.
6'5", just a little bit bigger than us. I would say 7 foot.
What I thought I seen was every bit. I mean, it was 7 foot. Looked like a basketball player in a suit. I mean, it looked like somebody dressed up. I thought, fucking gorilla suit. I didn't get that close to him, 200-300 yards. But I mean, I wouldn't think and check it out then. I think it was like him.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone know if Bigfoot uses pets or animals to help ambush or lure people? Or do you think that they would use that?
You never have to make contact.
I bet they do eat animals. I bet they do eat them. And if they don't eat them, maybe they just get them in the woods and hold on to them so that you come out there to check and then they eat you both. Probably. That if they're really hungry, they could use the animals as a tool. If they just want a little snack, they can eat the animals. They have all the options.
Would you think that a Bigfoot would run a deer out in front of a car or a hog or a...
You told me that they do that, so now it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, yeah. They
It's not dumb. It's about.
No, they're not. They don't want to be out. They don't want to run out in front of your only car. They would rather wait and go either here before or
That
after.
just makes you think if there would be. About it, the deer stop when they see headlights. They literally stop in the headlights. So for them to run out and be like, I want to hit this
The
car.
deer hit me.
Yeah, I know.
My car, it just lost so.
It is.
But I mean, at the same time, the dog,
It
wolf,
makes you
or
wonder
anything
how many
that's preying on
Bigfoot
them
are here in
will do that.
Antlers.
I mean, maybe they
This is
ain't
the deer
done no.
capital of the world right here.
What do
Is
y'all
it
think
though?
that
Have you
they?
checked the last deer tags?
No, but that's what we call this town.
Yeah.
No, that ain't what we call it.
I would say that's what we
From
used
the
to call it.
past.
I would say.
But is it
But
still?
if you look at the deer tags throughout the last 5 years, There's hardly any chance
Bigfoots
about
must
it.
be Bigfoots and the rednecks are eating them all.
What do you think they eat?
I think they eat, if they're meat eaters, they
Anything
eat
they
it
get.
just like a bear. They eat whatever is convenient to them. I don't think they have a smorgasbord that they go 7-Eleven and look for humans or look for
Daddy.
cows. I think they get whatever's available. Wouldn't I mean, that's the way I think about them. Are they smarter than that, or are they bedding off humans somewhere? I mean, if
Where-
they do,
Where do y'all think they live?
Deep in the woods. I think they live.
y'all, I'm not trying to make nobody mad or embarrass my daughter, but most of the time, just like in my imagination and people's imagination, until I see one hanging up in a tree like you do a deer, that's hard for me to get over.
He's not asking these questions for you to be a smart.
Well, I ain't being smart, I'm being legit.
Recording
You
it
know
so
what I mean?
that he can.
Oh, this is just for the interview.
I did apologize for any
It's just
offense.
whatever y'all
I
want to
did.
say.
I did apologize for anybody I offended, but
No, this is what we want to know.
if that
How
offends you, I'm
people-
sorry.
How people
He's
feel.
representing general.
Yeah, the general
I mean,
public
I've
is asking.
seen.
Okay, we're gonna break that up right now. Time out.
Did you get the general idea? It's just general reactions.
Yeah, and how families are together. So, good people. We went over today to view this film with our friends and watch that DVD. We're gonna catch up on these quick comments, and then we're gonna get some action started, I guess you would say.
Okay. Halito Charles, he's late, but he's here.
Charles, you're late.
What is going on?
Charles, you're late.
I watched Predator
Late, Charles.
first, and then I watched Prey. Prey was a great movie by all accounts. Good. Let us know how it compared with, since you had the DVD, how you compared that with the movie. Mr. L, Leo, I just got here myself. Charles, happy Sunday. Mr. L.
Mr. L, you're late too.
Bigfoot Anon.
That's
Hey,
2.
y'all. Hey, Bigfoot.
3, you're late too.
Oh, you picked a good night to be late.
Yeah, it's a good night to be late.
Yes, Claudia, too many people think they're friendly. Wow, how deceived they actually are. Sad. Yes,
It
we
is. It
agree.
is.
We agree, but that's what we're all here for, right?
Yep.
Charles joins with his amen.
All right, Charles.
Jackie.
Hey,
Thank you,
Jackie.
Jackie. Thank you for showing the truth. I've been learning so much from your channel. I knew a little about them. Can they come in your room while you're asleep? Yes.
Most of the time, they're already in your room before you go to sleep. Sweep underneath that bed. Sweep your closet out. Sweep the corners of your room. Put towels underneath your door if you like. Make sure your windows are secure. Some of them are, I mean, we're not talking just 25-foot Bigfoots or, 4-foot ones. There's other predators out there.
Predator entities.
Yeah, other predator entities. There's even demons out there.
Unless you're actively keeping them out of your spaces,
Yeah.
they're around.
Yeah, and you gotta have your faith to push these things out. That's a third or a man, push it out. But those beasts will be there. And they have different sizes, like we're saying. You can have small ones that, decompress, shadow people, those things. Listen to those kids. They're telling you the truth. Always listen to them. But most of the time, they'll already be in your home.
And Jackie, if you look back, we did a show on spiritual cleansing not too long ago. It's been within the last month or 2.
It should still be up. That.
And that it'll answer a lot of your questions in regards to spiritual cleansing too. And we'll get that DVD edited and out as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Matthew, good vibes. Good vibes.
Hey, Matthew, how you doing?
Glad you're here, Matthew. Okay, so what did y'all of who saw?
Oh, Matthew. If you would like, my email is in the description. Send me an email. We want to go ahead and send you a DVD out. And just whenever you get a chance, we know things happen. Trust us, we know things happen. And everyone here should know things happen. So, but we do know that you need the DVD, so just send us your email, your address. We'll get that out to you. And just whenever you get a chance, it's no rush. We just know you need it.
Jackie says, yes, thank you. Good. Matthew says, hi. Okay, thank you. Good.
No problem, Matthew.
So y'all tell us, when you watch the movie Prey, were there things about the DVD that reminded you or that helped you notice some things in the movie Prey that you wouldn't have otherwise? And then you want to talk about what you saw or in the movie? I'm just saying what your observations.
Oh.
Or do you want to wait and let them answer?
No, let's hear from whoever watched this movie Prey. Let's answer. Let's say this. If the entire tribe had watched this DVD, or if their elders and war chiefs were teaching them this information, do you think that the predator could have, I don't want to get too far ahead in the movie, but do you think the predator could have went as far as it went? We used to do a TikTok, 30-second kind of TikTok, because there is a 20-second
lag,
a 20-second delay, I believe.
So we're just going to sit here and stare at y'all until we get some answers rolling up on here.
Until y'all answer the question. No. And we know y'all have the answers, especially the people who has watched the DVD. And that question again is, if the entire tribe had the knowledge of the Bigfoot documentary, would the predator had gone as far as it did? Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was killed or
at the very end.
Yeah.
No, we ain't supposed to say. Oh, where do I get the movie Prey from? And which Prey movie is it? It's on Hulu, and it's the 4th in the Predator series, but it's a completely different setting, and I think it's completely different directors.
Let me put that shout out for you, Matthew.
Really good movie. They did a great job. They cast it very well. The leading actress was fantastic.
This is what you're going to be looking for on Hulu. The very good movie. Very good movie. And tonight is about this movie. And what we're doing is this information, this knowledge in the Bigfoot documentary versus the information that the people had in the movie Prey. You can even use the movie Predator, any of those movies.
Little Red says no. They could have always monitored the land for any changes. Yeah, exactly right.
Exactly right. They would have had scouts out looking, monitoring, like you said. Let's see. We got Charles here.
Predator has come to Earth to hunt and make trophies of men and alpha predatory creatures. Okay,
so now we also, instead of Predator, let's think Bigfoot. Bigfoot, Predator.
Little Red says they could have been ready. Yes, they could have been. They could have had their women and their children more ready, not just the men warriors. And that's a lot of what the show was about, too. Yeah. They had this fierce warrior woman wanting to hunt this predator also and trying to warn him, and nobody would listen to her. North Kisatchie girl, why hunt? What hunts you? I loved that line too. Yep, that was one of the best lines of the movie.
I thought one of the answers when he said, you picked this to hunt to be your trophy. You picked this to be your trophy.
Yeah, very good movie. And that's one thing we're trying to drive home to y'all. And we have a lot of warrior women on this channel that are out there making a difference. And I would have to say a lot of the times you're the people that are the most vulnerable because you're home the most and isolated the most. I don't care if that sounds old fashioned. It's just in my neck of the woods the way it was. And the Bigfoot are more attracted to women, so you're most likely to be the one getting the attention. And they're smart enough to know not to show out when the men are home. I've been at a tracking get together where all but me and one other woman, we went with a group of the male hunters, and the other women stayed at the camp, just to talk and visit, whatever. It was the first night. But as soon as all the men left, we were with them, we were getting radioed that there was trouble back at the camp. So they knew to wait until the men left, and then they started harassing the women. So women are definitely front line. Why are you so? Am I on another rant?
Yeah, no. It sounds like you were set up. I mean, as far as the women, because everyone should know that they are attracted to women. There's certain times that they mate. There's certain times that they hunt.
Yeah, I don't think it was set up. I think it was just a lack of knowledge. I think it was just they didn't know.
This group ever been? Have you ever been out with this group before?
No, and
have this group ever been out before?
Great people. Yeah, but I don't know about that kind of setup. It was just I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't know as far as that goes. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just gonna.
I can genuinely say they were surprised that. that they were so active there at the camp. And that's another thing. You don't have to go out to the middle of the woods. Mary is on. Great. I just want to thank you so much to the person who gifted me with the DVD. That is very kind to you. Okay, be sure that you send us send it to
what are we talking about?
Mary to send her.
No.
What?
What's talking about
before that? We were talking about tracking and the women at the camp. Okay, I got distracted. Sorry. So he's writing a note there.
Yeah, just so we can pick that back up. But Mary,
she also says, I just want to thank you so much to the person who gifted me with the DVD. That is very kind of you. Yes, they're absolutely a wonderful person.
And they're listening also right now.
Yeah.
Or they'll watch it later.
Yeah, and you need it.
We all know it, and we all talked about it, and we was going to send it, but at that same time, you're heard. We heard you.
These comments will disappear, and so we didn't have another way to get a hold of you. This live chat will disappear. So if any of y'all want to reach us on emails or comments after the stream is up on the regular channel, then we'll get your messages. But if you're putting them on here, they'll disappear.
Yeah, so make sure my email is in the description also. Send me an email so we can get your address and we can get that out to you. Glad you're here again. We were talking about you, and the people were talking about you, and we're getting it out to you tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm. Little Red says, especially when they were dancing and singing, burning wood, big fire, easy to find them with all those signals. That's a great point. They do, draw a lot of attention to themselves, and people do that now, sitting around with their bonfires and barbecue pits and things like that out there in the woods. It's not how we advise doing it, not even a little bit. Have your cookouts in a crowd and away from your home, and
clean up that area. Don't leave it for someone else who may be camping in that area.
And we're talking about coals and everything.
Yeah, put Clorox bleach on it or something. Clean it up because they will come lick the grills. They'll try to get in your ice chest. They'll try to unzip your tent. So make sure your tent, if and I don't recommend tinting. But if you do, make sure you are staked down to the ground. That tent has to be staked to make it a threshold. You got to make sure it's secure, or they'll try. If you're not, they'll try to pull your tent with you inside it. And we've got reports, and we know some trackers and some friends personally who's had that done. And luckily, they were let go because other people were there.
And one of them laughed about it. Was his dad that got pulled out of the tent, and he still doesn't think that they're aggressive, and that's ridiculous. How is that not aggressive? That he's lucky that his dad's still alive, and I think it's very naive and in denial to say that they're not aggressive when more and more things like that are happening.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mary, be sure that you send us your email. I mean, your mailing address. Matthew, watching you with my brother Josh, he is finally interested in believing more that they exist now since watching you. I have been studying these cryptids for years and have witnessed a dogman and we'll wait for the rest of that. And good, glad your brother's starting to listen. It's very frustrating, isn't it, when you just know what you know and people just blow you off. It is frustrating, but just got to keep it moving. Just like
and we've got friends now who moved into the area and into a hot zone. They've never heard of, well, they've heard of Bigfoot, but they've never seen one. Didn't think nothing of it, but they moved into a hot zone. Luckily, they're staying with people who has seen these creatures, who knows about these creatures in the area to keep them safe. But at first, this person didn't believe in these creatures and Bigfoots and the cryptids and everything. And that person is also in this DVD in one of the first places. And you see that he gets startled pretty quick at just another person showing up, which was kind of threw everybody off, but we had not vision. But once he was able to see what people see in these this video, he was a little nervous, but it was only because he was walking through these areas at night.
he never walks anymore.
He never walks anymore, but he's now able to see shadows or the outlines. He knows what's there. He's a lot safer. Although he's never fully seen one, he knows that they're there, and he's seen this video. And which it does show different types of Bigfoots and the translucent ones.
And he lives on Green Hill Monster Road. That's how
Monster.
well it's known for the cryptid activity and the different phenomena and entities out there.
Neighbors report it all the time also.
Little Red says, I'm wondering if Bigfoot is very smart or learn how to hunt and kill by watching us, how we do everything. I'll do her next comment too. But I know they've been around for centuries, right? They're cunning, not smart, and they learn by repetition. They learn by watching us.
We teach them. We teach them how to capture us.
It's not that they're brilliant. It's the same pattern over and over and over. Wherever you go, once you learn it in the DVD, you can't unsee it. You'll see it in so many places. It's why it just stuns me that people that have been tracking for a while are still needing to go way off deep into the forest. I'm like, good Lord, drive down just about any rural highway and pay attention, because I just don't know how you can miss it.
Also, that with this DVD, you will have more information than some of the world's best trackers, some of the best researchers in the world on this subject. You will have the answers that they don't have. You won't be that person who don't know, who can't answer, who can't. Whenever you do see it, or if you have seen it before, and you have this knowledge with you, you have the truth with you. You can show people the DVD and say, here, watch this. You want to see Bigfoots? They're on there. You want to see translucent? They're on there. You want to learn this and that? Here.
Charles says, the lag I'm getting is making it difficult, but the young female really took on a much stronger enemy and defeated it. She sure did. She sure did.
Yeah. And everyone watching this channel is supposed to be a warrior.
Yeah.
And all this information we're giving you is what every warrior needs to know. So it's information you're not going to get anywhere else.
And instead of teaching your children that there are no such thing as monsters, teach them how to fight the monsters. Teach them how to prepare for the monsters. Don't, if something happens to you, you just left them completely unprepared, and it's not right. Matthew, attack. It definitely works. I have learned so very much from you and have been filling in the gaps of my research questions. You're definitely doing God's work. Thank you. We very much appreciate that. You know, the Bible says resist the devil and he will flee from you. Resist is an active word. It doesn't mean just lay passively and be a punching bag. It means push back, fight the darkness, push it back, expose.
Do your part.
Yeah.
Every
all
one of us. All of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're all supposed to be warriors. We're all supposed to be teaching each other. Our children are supposed to be training right now.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of us is supposed to be training.
And they used to. We've just been programmed to be weak and to be victims and to be whiners and to be just a big old series of dysfunctions and disorders when we're supposed to be strong and fierce. And the same applies, and I'm talking about people in general and as Christian spiritual warriors. We're not supposed to be weak. We're supposed to be out there doing all these things and more that Jesus did. So,
yeah.
Don't forget to like the video. Thank you, Little Red. Yes. What was this other one? Charles, she figured out that those who carried a weapon like a gun, the predator went straight for them.
Well, also, hey, let's talk about that. Where did they shoot at the predators? You know, we teach here, you shoot into the eye upward.
Towards the center.
Towards the center, or underneath the underarm in the side there, or the buttocks or the groin. These people were shooting, we'll tell you that skull, that thickness is too thick. You got to hit certain places and it'll go in. But if you're shooting at the hard part or the chest or the thickness of it, it's just it will embed, of course, but they will still keep coming.
Too thick. And this is why we recommend a 10-inch knife also to carry with you. Mary, it's absolutely okay if you do that. Not a problem at all. She wants to send us her P.O Box.
Okay.
Her address. That's good. Sure.
Okay. But hurry. We need to get it to you as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You got this going on.
Yeah. And in the meantime, go back and watch older videos because there's tons of information.
There's information on there too.
Charles, they tried to shoot the body. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And now their joints, their connecting areas are also weak, just like a spider's. Those are weak areas. You can't cut their hands off. They're at their joints only.
They pounce. Predators pounce.
They will pounce. Expect the pounce.
And that's opening them up.
Yep. You got it right there. And take the shot. Don't hesitate.
You certainly have nothing to lose at that point.
Nope, sure don't.
And we found that if you carry weapons, they leave you alone. They're not.
They. It's how you go into the forest and how you carry those weapons and what you're looking for that we've noticed that they avoid us. If they chirp, you're gonna hear that chirp here, then chirp back further. They don't want anything to do with us. But like a hunter or something like that, they will stalk hunters.
They're reading you the minute you walk into that forest. They're figuring you out. What are you carrying? What are you doing? What do you want? They'll push animals out in front of you. What do you hear after a pig? A footprint? What are you after?
Yeah. You didn't go.
Yeah. Charles says the girl used predator's equipment against him and won.
Which is to a Bigfoot, it's anything. Stones, the weapons that we found, clubs, spears, All those things the Bigfoot does make out of just regular. All these things behind us. Those are weapons that we pull out of ambush areas.
We've been telling people that they use clubs, they use hooks,
Spears,
fires.
fires.
They will cover their prey's eyes with tree sap, with pine tar.
When they steal
they're
people,
cunning.
yeah.
They're predators. I'm talking about its faceplate. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that is also part of armor. So they were using their armor against them. So it's kind of like using their rules against them. So
yeah.
It's we don't recommend using their things. You don't want to connect with anything like that.
What about the translucency compared to the video compared to
Hey,
the movie?
there we go.
What we've actually caught and is on the DVD.
So whoever has watched the film, the documentary and the film, when you've seen, or even in the Predator, when you've seen the Predator turn translucent, did you also see these similar things in the DVD or the Bigfoot documentary? And this is just a yes and a quick answer. Yes, I've seen the translucent Bigfoots in the documentary, or no, I haven't. And if you do have the Bigfoot documentary and you have it, you do need to go back and watch it again because you missed it. So we'll give about that 20 seconds. There is a delay also, so
Super glad you texted in, Mary. Were y'all able to see the translucent beings on the DVD? And obviously in the movie Prey. We also noticed things like, I'm going to throw some things out there to remind you. Wait, Charles says, who's to say the natives didn't already know something about this type of being?
Charles has
yes.
seen the translucent beings in the DVD.
And Charles, have you ever seen them in real life also? Some people would call it cloaking. The way that you train your eyes to see it is it looks like the mirage, the heat waves on top of the highway when the sun is out, you know, that wavy look or pixelated look. That is what they look like. Charles says no, and I hope I don't. I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that. They can also look like shadow beings, just like the one picture that we had put up earlier of that line of beings that were coming up behind the car.
And you'll see also in the trees, you'll see just a part of the tree or the leaves just kind of move.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'll move up.
Mm-hmm.
So look for that. Watch those trees. Your eyes will catch it. Just focus, and then you'll see a group just kind of just move over. They're not going to move fast for you. They're strategic and they're predators, so they're going to move like a predator. They're going to try to always be behind a tree or a bush or something where they can only view you, but you can't view it.
And they'll stack up too, where they're layered up, where you're not sure if you're looking at two eyes from one head or one eye from two heads.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Charles says, but if I do, I know what to look for. Yep.
All right.
We were telling people yesterday we don't recommend at all going out there and saying in your mind, I come in peace. I'm only here to fill in the blank. Leave me alone. If you're in an area that you know the Bigfoot are in or the predators are in, don't do that. Don't make any kind of contact. You do any more than you would with a demon. You don't walk into a demon's den and talk to them and tell them you come in peace. No, you don't. I come in peace against an enemy for one thing.
As soon as you start talking, communicating, asking anything,
click, you're hooked.
You open the door. Don't communicate with these things.
North Kisatchie Gale. What I've seen with my own eyes and what I saw in the movie Translucent is the same exact thing I saw. Yes.
We know you don't have this yet, but it is on. It will be on its way.
Tomorrow.
You will see this also in this DVD.
I think it'll take about 3 days.
Yeah. And you'll be able to share with your friends and say, look, it's just right here.
And that's going to feel good to you too, isn't it? To be able to say, look, this is what I saw. You know,
this is right here. I'm guessing
people are blowing you off because that is what people do. And I'm so glad that now you're going to have the means to say, you need to listen to me because we need to push a street line back or make whatever deterrence you need to do.
Yeah.
That's it, huh? They're not our friends. No, you're right. They're not. Mary Stoughton, thank you so much. If they go in peace and go out in peace is Little Red. I like that. Good one.
Yeah, here we don't put up with Bigfoots. We deter them every day, every night. You know, sometimes we just hit that car alarm just to let them know that maybe somebody's tripped some kind of alarm. Maybe they heard something. Why is that car going off? Why? So we keep them guessing all the time as far as if we're awake or if we're listening or if we're paying attention. We want them to know, hey, that car went off. Who moved or who disturbed this? What's going on?
So they know they can't sneak up on you. You're too aware, and then they're going to go somewhere where they can get away with it, just like any other predator, human or otherwise.
But if you're sleeping all night, or if you've got the air conditioner all night, which a lot of people do, especially during the hot times, which I would still recommend you do that, then open your windows. But if you've got the TV on in the afternoon, in the evening, or the radio, or just even talking loud, but don't be arguing for sure, because they are attracted to that more. But a lot of people are not going to hear Bigfoots even walking on their homes, their houses, or how they're trying to get to listen, or underneath their homes in like a mobile home or something off the ground.
They'll climb on the roof, on the roof too.
Sure will.
And they will also try to pull, and that's in the DVD. One of the eyewitnesses, they tried to pull the air conditioner out, the window unit out of his window. And we've heard that more than once about them doing that. It's a big hole. They know this. Charles says, I'm a good enough shot that my first shot will be for the head, as long as it's in the eyes and up towards the center of the brain. If you went straight through the eyes, it's going straight out the back, and it no biggie.
Yeah.
But good. Glad to hear you're a good shot. And also, Charles, hope your wife is doing well and mended up very quickly.
And we also have a guest who also will be on also as soon as we get everything up again, that they will be talking about a couple things like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we did hear from our tracker up north, too.
Hey, yeah, we did.
He's doing great. He says, just please be patient a little bit longer. He's in the middle of harvest season.
And it was good to hear from you out there.
One of the things I noticed in the movie Prey is we talk about in the DVD this spider DNA, and that thing looks like a spider, and it had a lot of the same traits of a spider, and they will put the information in the movies for us
in front of you.
Yeah, it's just another language. They're telling you the truth. They're putting it out there for you, and hoping you're just too stupid to know that they're telling the truth. Mm-hmm. Bernice says, we watched Prey when it first came out. My son's friend was asking about the Bigfoots in this area. my son was educating him about Bigfoots, and he started to tell them about the translucent Bigfoot. Good, very good. Bernice is, and her family are really informing the people in their area of Louisiana, where there's missing people, there are dead people, there are lots and lots of Bigfoot sightings and aggressive Bigfoot encounters. And the young man that is in the mental health facility that was terrorized by the Bigfoot that Bernice has come on the show and talked about a few times. He has just another week more and he should be able to get out, and we're very, very, very glad to hear that. Okay. Bernice says his friend was asking questions. We showed him the DVD. Now he knows not to walk around in the street. Let's see, in the street of Fisher, and he was happy that he had seen the DVD. Good. And thank you, Bernice. Thank you for showing them that. Bernice also has made a difference at that at that Walmart, because they were sending the little clerks out there at night with the produce to a dumpster. Behind it is a swamp. This is a huge thicket area and a hot spot for these things. And there were sightings, there was vocals, everything out there. And Bernice has made the difference in that clerks now go out there as a team. They don't have to go out there by themselves anymore. Bernice may have very well saved their lives.
She has saved lives. Just even sharing the DVD with the young man. And
yeah, and some of the people that are on here are because of Bernice, that are seeking her behind the scenes, because for one thing, she got bullied mercilessly, her and her family.
And she kept punching back.
After she rode that wave and stood her ground, and her
stood
family stood their ground, then the more timid people, or the people that have been bullied too much already, are coming forward saying, you know, even if it's privately, that's okay too. But they're saying, I've seen what you've seen. I know you're telling the truth. I'm scared for people too. And so thank you, Bernice, for getting that truth out there.
And a lot of people who's gotten or received their DVD is doing these same things in their own communities with their neighbors, their family members. They're getting people together and saying, hey, we got a problem. We need to take care of this.
Yep.
And if they need help, they've been getting it. They've been going, and other people in their communities have been reporting things. Didn't have anybody to talk to. Surely
y'all don't expect the government or the, stop expecting the powers that be. I don't care what party they're in. Stop expecting them to help you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your neighbors, your families, yourself, your communities, yourself. Take charge of your own selves.
We had a report of someone was reporting activity, and I believe someone reported there was a panther or something in their area, and we just heard this the other day on a different channel, and but like the game rangers were going to give the people a ticket for if they harmed the panther. But while this panther was stalking the family, don't fall for that. Get all predators out of your area, from the ravens, the crows, the owls, wolves, everything. Move every predator out of your area.
Charles says, I kept thinking I would see a Bigfoot in the movie, but it didn't happen.
Well, we were looking for the symbolism, the similarities, and we were looking for the spider DNA, translucency, the way it hunts, that it uses weapons, even the foot, the marks. And I don't know if anybody caught that, but in one scene, the predator is wearing boots they got from somebody, or it was some kind of a militarized footwear, but it wasn't the regular foot.
Charles says the government only hides the truth. It appears so.
Yeah.
Smithsonian also hides the truth of a lot of these beings and things. That's a huge disappointment, but that's where we are.
Yeah. So, the young warriors, they didn't use the trees They weren't listening. Now, in the DVD, we talk about the sounds to listen for the Bigfoot. The people in the DVD did not recognize those sounds or the traps that they were being ran into. So the question would be, did you, what, from like, the easiest thing to say is, what do we say? What do trackers say if we hear a bird? Or what do trackers say if we hear thunder? What do we say? And it's in the DVD.
And we say it on the channel a lot.
And we say it on the channel a lot. If we hear a bird out there, what do we say? Only because in the film, if anyone had watched this film or the documentary and you would have heard that bird chirp, you would have done something different than what these people done in the film.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have been caught off guard. You would have knew exactly what to do.
We look for the bird, Charles. That's right.
Good,
exactly.
Charles.
If you hear, or an insect, or if you hear a noise, identify that noise. Make sure you see it, because they are master mimickers.
We will say, hear a bird, find a bird. Hear thunder, find thunder. Also, in the film, in the documentary, what do we talk about as far as fog? When we talk about fog,
Mist.
there's two things that we really say about that, but one is that they can create the fog, and that's also in the film or the documentary. But what are they doing whenever they create that fog? What are they doing when the Bigfoots create a fog?
And if you doubt that, like he said, football players can cause steam out there on the field. We've seen a whole cloud of steam go up from football players. I've had hot flashes that steamed up a whole window that my arm was up against. Mm-hmm. So they can generate enough temperature change to create a mist. It's a lingering mist. It's a stringy mist. It's a mist that takes shape. And pay attention for that.
Mm-hmm.
Little Red says they telling them we got visitor, in other words, food.
No, they're communicating. They're communicating with another Bigfoot. You're going to hear a bird chirp over here, then you're going to hear a bird chirp over there on the other side, and then you may even hear another bird chirp over here. What they're doing is they're surrounding you. Now, they do have troops and groups, so you'll have more than one locust in that group. You'll have more than one, and this is in the DVD. So when we talk about groups, we're talking about actual groups of Bigfoot, like troops of them. They don't hunt alone. Whenever you find one, that's the decoy. There are other ones hunting with them. So when we talk about groups like thunder and lightning, frogs, locusts, birds, owls, coyotes, things like that, we're talking about specific Bigfoots in that group. This one's like a tree frog, tree frog, tree frog. This one is a locust, 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 locust. This is a coyote, coyote, coyote. Let's see.
We'll hear seasoned researchers say we heard it over here, and then we heard it over here, and then we heard it over here. No, you didn't. You heard three.
Three different.
You heard six. Yeah. You didn't hear one circling you. You heard a bunch of them talking to each other about you.
Yeah, it's not a fast one, but in the DVD, we say, as everyone has helped out with, hear a bird, find a bird. That means find it. We need to know if that's a bird. We need to see if it's moving. We need to see if it's going to fly off. If that's not a bird, that's a Bigfoot, or that's a predator. It could be a dogman. It could be a rake. Find.
I thought you were doing.
Oh. So hear a bird, find a bird. You'll see in the movie Prey, they didn't do that. They didn't know what to look for. They didn't know the sounds of the predator, which is in the DVD.
Charles says it matched the heat from their body. And he also says more than one owl around you is not owls.
That is correct. And thank you for pointing that out. A lot of people don't know that.
And I've, you know, back before I knew better, I thought I had an owl following me for a full mile. Just, you know, I look back and I think, duh, you know, why didn't I? I knew something was up, but I didn't realize as much what was up. Mm-hmm.
And also Bigfoots and other predators, they have their own section, and we do talk about that. But so you may be walking through all these different sections. And so this Bigfoot may just be sitting here in the best hiding position, and you walk past it. Walk past another one. But you may set your camp up right in front of where this one's waiting. You hadn't seen it move, hadn't moved all day. You're the one that's moving. You're the one making noise. You're walking through their sections on your way to the camp that they've already set up with. So you don't have to see them walking with you or catch movement. I mean, you do have to know what you're looking for, which is in the information and the knowledge, but they have their own sections, which we do talk about in the DVD. So you won't even see them move most of the time until they get ready, or once you get to your area and like we've talked about, scout your area, make sure it's secure, know where every tree and bush is. When you go to town, you come back, there's something different. Then you know that these things have moved up and you've got something or a predator moving in on you.
Mm-hmm. North Kasachi Girl says, Bernice shared with a ladies group in Is How I Found Y'all. Has blown my mind. God answered my prayers from just last week. I have lived everything y'all have shared and now can prove to help save someone. Thank you. Thank you for your comment very much. And I hope you just keep on talking about it. Good.
Keep on saving lives.
You know, we hate that you're having to go through it and you've learned this stuff the hard way, but you got this.
And you've been given this time to do this, and it showed up right when you needed it.
And he answered. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. He does answer prayers, and that's just so awesome. And we're so honored to be a part of him answering prayers.
This has been a big journey. Everybody helping each other.
Oh, definitely.
Everyone we've met helped someone else, saved someone else's lives. We've got friends on here who saved their own sons' lives.
Yeah.
Through this, with this information.
I've had my prayers answered too, you know, to get the answers that I needed, because I knew what people were telling me was not right. It was not matching what I was seeing. And so I'm very glad to have the information myself. Charles says Arnold did it. He sure did. That ain't all he did. Sorry, it's a reference to an old news story. and a maid. Okay. Good evening from New Mexico, Mervyn Yazzie. Hi, nice to have you here. Good evening.
Nice to hear from you, Mervyn.
Is in New Mexico where Bernice is going to end up again?
Yeah, I believe so.
New Mexico.
She'll be bringing back a lot of information to New Mexico.
We have a wonderful Navajo family that's on here that is from New Mexico. They're in Louisiana now, but anyway.
Every time I go through New Mexico, especially Gallup, I got some friends there. But and you may know them, Lauren Anthony, Bloodlines, rock and roll band there. But as a joke, I'll say I can't think of that guy's name, but his last name's Yazzie. Would you happen to know anyone with the last name Yazzie? And which I guess everybody knows that, you know, the Navajo people, there's like a million Yazzies. I think it's a very popular name.
Oh, okay.
So whenever you say I'm looking for him, but all I know is his last name's Yazzie. That everybody just kind of like, you know how many Yazzies there are?
Like Smith or
yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Glad you're here, Mervyn.
So we're going to progress a little bit in the film. We all know that they were shooting in the wrong areas. They didn't know what the translucent predator looks like or what to look for. Did you notice any traps that were set for people in the movie Prey that could have been avoided if the techniques of the tracking tips that we gave you and how we do things in the field, if those warriors knew this information, do you think they would have been up to their neck, so to speak, in a trap? If the warriors had this information, would they have walked into those traps?
And for those just coming onto the stream, we're comparing the information in our DVD. We're pretending that the people in the movie Prey, that's out right now on Hulu, that they had this information, if it would have made a difference in how they handled things.
With the people here who already has purchased the DVD, watched it, and watched the movie Prey. So we're letting the people answer the questions who has this information, and they if you've been paying attention and listening to their answers, they've been spot on.
Yeah. Y'all really have been paying attention. It's awesome.
So would the warriors in that film who has, if they had this information, if they had this DVD, they had this knowledge, would they have walked into those traps in the film Prey?
And we didn't even know this movie was going to come out when we made this DVD.
Nope.
But we were sure excited when we saw the previews.
Yeah, and we didn't think we'd be doing this, you know, and matching it, but
Charles says no.
Charles says no.
I'll be right back.
And we'll wait for a couple more quick answers. I know Linda's out here. I don't know if you watched that. The question again is, if the warriors in the movie Prey, in the film Prey, if they had the information and the knowledge that is in this Bigfoot documentary, would they have walked into those traps? And we've got one no and we've got one Yazi. We've got one no and one Yazi. I don't know if we heard the question to have a Yazi answer, but it is funny. I mean, I've got a lot of Danae friends also, even a lot of family members that way. So if the warriors had the information, the knowledge in this DVD, would they have walked into those traps in the film Prey? And that again is on Hulu. It's a great movie, a good plot.
It was a good movie.
A lot of good actors. The cinematography is great. But whenever we watch films like that, we're analyzing. We're like, what kind of mistakes did they make? Decoding it. You know, look at that trap. They're about to go into a trap. What are they doing? You know, we're screaming at the TV.
Charles says you'd be surprised at how many people on podcasts gift the Bigfoots. Oh, I know. It's concerning. It is absolutely concerning. And what they don't understand, so they gift and everything goes great for them for a long time, and then they move away or don't come back to that spot. The next person coming along to that spot, they have just put in jeopardy.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yep.
Bernice says, hey, that's my brother Merv. Oh,
hey,
cool. Well, that
good.
Makes sense. And I started to make a joke. Do y'all know each other? You know?
Yeah, do y'all know each other? You know any
awesome.
Yazzies?
Linda says, sorry, I haven't seen the DVD or movie, but
Linda.
knowing you all, I say no.
Good.
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 It's okay. We're just glad you're here, Linda.
So if the warriors had the information and knowledge in this DVD, would they have walked into those traps in the movie Prey? And they literally were up to their neck in traps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And we were just going through the show going blind, bow, break, twist, tree line tree line skirting, fracture. You know.
And also, I want to kind of show everybody this real fast. Now pretend those are two trees, two big trees laying side by side like that, or pointed downward, usually in a downward slope off of a mountain. Two big trees like that, that is to funnel prey. And if you looked at that film Prey, the first kind of hunting scene, that elk is right between those two big pieces of knocked down trees. Mm-hmm. And that was to funnel that game into that trap to the predator.
Bernice says, that's my brother Mervin Yazzie, who saw the Bigfoot and filmed it on Liddy Road. Hi, Merv, welcome. Yeah, we're glad to have you here.
We are,
Mervin. And yeah, we've heard some of the stories that you've of your encounters.
And you have free, you can speak freely here, Merv.
Yeah.
We've seen them. We're just surprised so many people haven't seen them. So and now I don't know if you've been able to see the DVD, and I hope you have, because Bernice is your sister. But if not, y'all need to get together and watch that so you have the rest of the information. But we do know you're telling the truth, and we do know by the video and the photos that you sent in that you have seen what you know you've seen.
Mm-hmm. Red Canyon Outdoor Quest has a great point. Having the knowledge is only part of the journey. Someone still has to be smart enough to apply it. Hard to say what any specific individual would do. You're absolutely right. It has to be applied knowledge.
Yep.
That's weapons would be a good example. Have yourself armed, but it doesn't do you any good if you don't know what you're doing, and
or what you're even looking for.
You're going to shoot yourself in the foot, or it has to be applied knowledge, knowing what you're doing. Yeah. You're right. It's a good point. And Quicksand Huckleberry Charles says, did you notice the grizzly bear could spot the predator? Yes.
And the wolf.
Yep. Cloaked. And North Kasachi Gal says, Bernice's brother Merv.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Also in the movie Prey, which we didn't talk about in the film or the documentary, but a Bigfoot will, if there's two hunters, a Bigfoot will run a deer or a buck right between both of them. Hopefully they'll shoot each other, or they'll shoot the deer, and they may get will still take the people. Or if there's a group of you, got my mouth right there. If there's a group of you, a Bigfoot will get in the very center of you, and they are very quick. So when people turn and shoot, they're shooting at each other. So when a Bigfoot does get in between y'all, one go down, one go high, and keep moving side to side.
And they are that cunning.
They will get in between you to cause you to shoot at each other. People do panic in those situations, but don't ever panic. Expect to see the most biggest, gruesomest thing you could ever find. Now, there is another question that we asked, and we're going to ask the same question here. What is the average size that you think a Bigfoot is?
Or even the maximum height.
Or even the maximum height. What is the average height, and what is the maximum height that you think a predator or Bigfoot would be?
Okay.
And it's got a 20-second lag, so...
While y'all do that, I'm going to show for the people that haven't seen it. The others have seen this probably 20 times. These are what we call drop-in pops. This one is bone, and this one is rock. And they will put these behind your tires or in the road so that when you come up over a rock, you land on those and pop your tires. The tracking team one of our tracking teams went out and had it happen twice in one scout. You have to be careful of that. We've had them placed after we parked at base camp, put right behind the tires. Be careful of that. Mervin says, yeah, I was totally surprised if what I seen on that I encountered and filmed it on Liddy Road. My sister Bernice told me about your channel and I subscribed to your channel. Thank you. I sure appreciate that. They're keeping our numbers down under 500. We'll get so close. We'll be within 2 of 500 and it goes right back down. No matter how many people tell us on a daily basis that they're subscribing, they're keeping our view numbers down and they're keeping our subscriptions down. So if y'all would just keep pushing back until we get over that hump, it happens to any good truth-telling channel. Linda Garcia says average 7 feet tall and 32 largest. Jackie says average 10 foot. We're going to keep getting answers till Jerry comes back. Y'all keep putting them out there. I love this. It's so nice to get to talk to y'all real time instead of having to wait till the end. He's on his way back. Anyway, yeah, so the drop-in pops, be very careful of those. People didn't believe us when we told them, but there's also been trackers that have contacted us and told us, oh yeah, we've seen those. We've had that happen. So it's just not something we've heard any other researchers talking about. Same as the Bigfoot wearing clothes. We just talked today, the family we talked to, they were showing us a video of it. Looked in the woods, you could see just a straight dress standing there in the darkness with this long black shaggy hair. Couldn't really see the face, maybe black holes kind of looking for eyes. It looked to me like it was just holding a dress up in front of it, not wearing it because the dress was too flat, you know, it was too straight down. They're very cunning. Charles says the one I saw was 11 feet, but I would say 15 feet 7 inches. You weren't in here. Linda says average 7 feet and 32 largest. Jackie says average 10 feet. Charles says the one I saw, it was 11 feet, but I would say average is 15 foot 7 inches. Red Canyon Outdoor Quest says a 7-footer is likely still a juvenile. Alphas can probably go 12 to 16 or better. Great answers.
Yeah, good answers. The biggest we've seen was I want to say 25 foot, but I want to say it may have been a little bit bigger because it was kind of scooted down. We got some reports from one of our trackers in Alabama who've seen 25 foot, 20 footers, or actually 19 footers and a 17 footer. I believe it might have been Bama who reported that there are 25 footers, but I'm not sure if that's who reported that one.
But I would agree with Red Canyon that a 7-footer is likely still a juvenile. Yeah, yes. People don't realize that. And those are the ones that are getting in clothes, putting the urban camouflage on.
And they still have, and they still have that kind of even body like a man. It's not until they get out of their juvenile do the legs stay the same and the body keeps growing. They are still awkward at that age or that body type time. And that's they always make mistakes. They're always
those are the ones always getting caught.
Yeah, getting caught on film.
But they're in training, you know. They're in hunting training. But the average is what Charles says.
The average for like a juvenile is 10 foot, and the tallness can still range because we're still getting reports from bigger ones and bigger ones. So. Yeah. Don't expect to see the gruesomest, most vicious, slobberish until the 3rd quarter of the moon to the new moon time. Of course, that's when it's the very darkest. That's whenever they get to come up and hunt also.
North Kasachi gal says, wow, the logs explain all the logs. They strip the limbs off and lay at our woodline on our creek. Hey, a good indication. Yeah, they did that. The land I used to have too.
Oh yeah.
The a good indication how high the breaks are, how high the twists are. Angel, I don't know if you're on here tonight. I haven't seen you yet, but hers are very high up in the trees and very big trees. So that's also an indication of their size, besides their footprints.
I was just laughing at Charles's.
Charles says, well, my 11-footer looked older. Well, and I mean, they're not all the same. You know, there's different too, depending on what they,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Different
The-
DNA.
The shows on TV would have you thinking that they all look like Chewbacca, but it's just not the case.
And
There's,
some of them are patchy, stringy hair. Some of them white, gray, black. What's that color? The auburn, patchy. You know, calico. Different colors. So, and I've seen some with like it look like sideburns in a way. They're gray sideburns and the no hair at the top, just like a older gentleman with a monkey face looking thing.
solid black, just every description, every color. Just think of a dog, you know, all the colors they come in, it's no different. Whatever is going to be the best camouflage for them in the area that they're in.
Also in the movie Prey, whenever they found the first person who was missing, when you seen the cuts on that person, did it look like a mountain lion? Even the size of that mountain lion that showed up, did those look like mountain lion gashes? That's the next question. In the movie Prey, the first person who was found, who was attacked, did those cuts on the person's shoulder, kind of like this, like the shirt going up, did those cuts resemble the cuts of a mountain lion attack?
Charles says he looked like a cross between Cro-Magnon and Native American, high cheekbones. And then Jeremy from Alabama's here. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy.
Red Canyon says, rumor is that George Lucas had an encounter when he was younger, and that's why he created Chewbacca for his movies to look like what he saw. Yeah, I wondered that. I hadn't heard that rumor, but it seemed to me like that was some more disclosure kind of thing. Just the same as
Cousin It. And,
right.
You know, that's even a small one.
Right.
It, you know, cousin.
Charles, you're saying no, but I guess I've already lost track of what you're saying no to.
Oh no, that
Charles just
that's
telling us no about everything
did the
tonight.
cuts look?
Right.
Did the cuts resemble a mountain lion attack?
Oh yeah, no. We've seen on a picture on a 6'3" man. If the claws were spread out across the back, I could fit my widespread hand between each of the digits, the claw marks. It was horrifying.
Yeah, we seen a person who was gashed open, had a gash here, a gash here, a gash here, and a gash down there.
Horrifying.
That's huge.
Those were claws. Those weren't Harry and the Henderson fingertips like they'll try to make you think.
I ain't never seen it coming.
Shows.
Never seen it coming.
Never saw it coming in. His brother passed away from the attack also. He survived, but his brother did not.
Survive.
And it's another reason we're passionate about this.
Yep.
What else?
Also, when the first hunter or warrior, after they tracked the creature to the first victim, and they first encounter the translucent predator, why did the first person or the first warrior, why was he killed so easily? Why was the first warrior killed so easily after they tracked the first victim? They moved on just a little bit, and they came up to this tree that was fell. They were looking over it, and then they started doing what? Why was the first warrior killed, and why was it so easy to kill him in the film Prey?
Charles says, I measured his feet at 22.5 inches. That's a big boy. That's a big boy, Charles. Little Red Panda Wood says, please click the like button. Thank you. Yeah, please do click the like button. I'm not understanding. Dang, Jerry, I've slept since then. Charles says, dang, Jerry, I've slept since then. Well, good. We're glad you're getting sleep.
Yeah, it's good to get sleep. What was the first warrior doing when he was killed after they tracked the first victim? Why was he killed so easy? What was he doing?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I misunderstood.
Oh.
Jeremy says the guy at Crow Creek Cryptids got smacked across the back. It left a handprint about a foot long. Dang. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that.
Also, it depends on what side he was hit. If he was hit on his right side, that's where more energy is stored. So if it's hit on that side, it pushes the energy out like a trauma. And they can also feed on that energy also.
Little Red says distraction. That's...
Yeah, it was a distraction, yeah. But what was he doing? And why was he killed so easily? But he was doing something that we never do out there. And that's why if these warriors in this video had this DVD, they would not have been making those mistakes that they were making. Neither would they have in the movie Predator.
We won't track with people who do this.
No.
Red.
And yeah. And we don't track unless you know what we know. I mean, we will go out short to give you some examples of what we do and how we do it, but
we won't track twice with people who do this.
Yeah, we won't ever track twice with people who, because it does affect us, it does jeopardize us, and we just can't have that, and we do things our own way. So
Red Canyon says, growing up hunting mountain lions, I can say their claws almost always dig in and grip. Then they kill with bites. If they latch on from behind, they'll try to work up to the neck and collapse the windpipe. Yes, thank you for that comment. Jeremy says, I believe it was the right side. Yeah,
so they were slapping energy. They were that's a trauma also. So this person was traumatized when this happened. Oh, well, of course anybody would be if you did not know what this is. Now, if that would happen to us, we would turn around and shot, even if we didn't see it.
In general, they will come up on the left side to attack. That's your death side.
Yep. I expect them on the left.
You don't have as much peripheral vision on your left side as you do on your right side. Charles says, was he talking loud? Yes, they
perfect, Charles.
Yeah, he was talking.
He was talking out there. We don't do that. Especially when you're in a situation, especially if you got blood on the ground, you've got gashes on your people, something has taken and drugged your people out so far out. And when they do things like that, that's to pull you out. And we did talk about that in the DVD. We also show you one of the ambushes that me and TrackerElla avoided. Same thing in the movie Prey, in the film Prey. If they had this information, that would not have happened. And they would have been cautious and tracking like you're supposed to track, instead of trying to run out through the woods like that. It is true they found him. They would have found him anyway. But they went in there loud, making noise. They didn't know what was around them, what was waiting for them, and what was setting a trap for them. But you are correct, Charles.
Wade Stewart says rushed in and wasn't paying attention. Good answer.
That too, yes.
Good answer.
And they got in there and they just started talking and arguing. Kind of, predator walked up right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
That easy.
Mm-hmm. North Kasachi gal says urinating. I don't remember that, but that is something that gets the bad attention of these things.
That person did that a little before, but we don't do that either.
Yeah. And if y'all go out camping, keep a container in the tent. Don't go out into the woods and be isolated and use the restroom out in the woods. Keep that into your tent. Dispose of it somewhere else.
And I don't recommend going out on an expedition with
any tracker in the whole world.
anyone who would want you to urinate out in the field or make noise or talk or mouth or have a communication while you're in territories like this. I can't think of the guy's name, but
I can. Todd Standing.
Todd Standing. He has women who urinate, or he wants women to urinate out there. That is, you're just calling these predators in. They have been known to rape and eat women at the same time. People come up missing. We've had women come up missing, which we do have trackers who have found a couple of people. So everything we're telling you is the truth. So
if you want some actual case files, go to Abnormal Investigations. It's another YouTube channel. It's actually, I think it's the only one that we recommend.
Yeah.
Really good channel and very detailed case files of what these predators will do.
And just like TrackerElla said, that's the only channel that we would recommend that someone go and see, because they have more stories of description, I guess you would say, of things that do happen out there. But I don't recommend going out there with anyone like that. I don't know if everyone knows, but he was also ran into a trap by the Bigfoots, which we talk about, and we also show you what these traps look like in the Bigfoot documentary. So that young man was talking out there, and yes, you are correct on that. But he was the first one that was, I don't know if it's the same when urinating, but it was whenever they started talking and arguing, that the predator walked up right behind him and just tore him apart right there in front of everybody.
Red Canyon says, when I varmint call, I set up to be able to shoot on my left side. Being right-handed, my left zone is my widest zone.
It says showing off.
Thank you for your comments, Red Canyon. We're very glad you're here tonight. You're giving some good comments. Wade Stewart, showing off. Yeah, that can get you in trouble.
Yeah, sure will.
Charles says Todd is pretty much ignorant. Seems like a really sweet guy, really nice guy, but he's going to get someone hurt, and he's already gotten himself hurt.
Yeah.
The trap we're talking about is land spikes. They're sharpened tree roots, stakes, root balls. We don't have any that are small enough to show y'all tonight, but the prey will go over an obstruction and land on that and impale itself, and it will either kill itself or it will bleed and leave a blood trail. And that's actually what happened with Todd Standing, being run through the forest, and he jabbed his leg with something and he passed out and ended up on the beach where he said that they healed him. Well, Todd Standing brings a lot of people up there and a lot of attention up there. They're going to want him out of the woods. You're not going to want a bunch of people up there trying to figure out why he got killed. So he just has a lot to learn.
We do talk about that also in the DVD.
And we would not advise. We have a very, very dear friend who we love very much, who can't wait to go out there with him. And it just makes us cringe to think about it, because she also doesn't believe that they're predators. And we just simply do. And she's not seen the photos or talk to the people that we have that have firsthand knowledge of the things that they can do. And anyway, there's a million other people that feel the same way she does that will get hurt.
And she does want to keep her own beliefs, and we have nothing against that, but we're just saying introduce yourself into another type of knowledge and see which one's right. See which one. You can check any bit of this information out and you'll find that it's correct.
You won't go wrong by being more safe.
No.
Charles, if you hear a baby crying in the bush, be on the lookout for Bigfoot. You're right. And there are other animals that can sound like a baby too, somewhat. But when you hear this one, it absolutely abnormal has a really good recording of a baby crying out there one night when he was out there by himself on Abnormal Investigations. It was so creepy. And he was being ambushed. There was an ambush set up back at his car when he got back to his car too. And that's another thing we warn about. The disturbing thing is they're mimicking the babies, means they've heard the babies crying enough that they can mimic them perfectly, and that should concern you.
Also, if you hear someone calling for help or the mimic of one of these predators making a call for help or a scream or a woman's voice, they had a subject.
Mm-hmm.
They learned how to make that call for help.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah. We've even heard them call here, kitty, kitty. They hadn't perfected the tone of the voice yet. It was still deep and creepy, but they had mimicked the words. And we're trying to communicate with one of my daughters and her friend. Watch this video, Stephen. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Charles. Linda says, and that's why I'm here to learn. Thank you so much. We're glad you're here. We're very glad you're here. I was thinking about you earlier today, Linda. We'll get a call into you pretty soon. I miss talking to you.
And now with the village having all the information, and as soon as you get this, you're going to know that we do teach you warrior ways, things about training, things about tracking, things about smell, shadow language, bird language, translucent viewing, what they look like, what they smell like, where to find them, where their traps are, where their ambushes, what those ambushes look like. But now getting more towards, because we know right now that if those warriors, if your family has this knowledge, you could have easily deterred these creatures. You could have been able to talk to your neighbors, your friends, your family, the other village. Everybody would have been on the same page. Everybody would have had the same knowledge. Everybody would have been pushing back instead of, I have nobody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole village knows. Every one of y'all knows to be ready. Every one of y'all knows to prepare and to watch out for each other. When you're passing by, don't just pass by your neighbor's house. Look in that area. Look for any disturbances. Let each other know, hey, there's a new bow over there. There's a blind over by your, just a half mile up the road, or over by your driveway. There's a blind right there. Look out for each other out there. You're not the only one, and you're not the only one who sees these things.
What we're doing with the structures that are on our property is exposing them. We're cutting off all the foliage and the small branches, and we're leaving basically just the framework picture, just the studs of a house. We're leaving that exposed so that they know that we know what they're doing out there. They are afraid of exposure and starvation. And exposure because it means starvation. Some people may want to just mow them down, burn them down, brush hog them out of there, get rid of the structures altogether. But this is a new technique that we recently started doing, and it appears to be working. But you got to stay on top of it, because when we go track and we come back, there's new blinds. And it may start with just a few little branches that nobody would think too much of. Know your trees, know what's out there in your yard, and watch, because it's so incremental that You won't even notice it. Maybe pick the area straight out from your front door or from where you get into your car at the wood line, especially if you see one branch bent down. Take a picture of that, and every few days or once a week, take a picture and watch how incrementally that blind will grow up. You will be probably horrified. North Kisachi girl says, that was my mistake, y'all. Ignorance. Me too. I have kidney disease, hydrate, and I would pee on the wood line at our storage. When I did go inside, I found a limb stuck in the ground in my path by Big Gray. Yeah, we all have.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know what we didn't know.
And like the first part of the interview of the people who, just like most people, didn't have this information. Most of the information came from YouTube or some documentaries like that, and that was the wrong information to be giving people. Wood knocking, whooping, gifting, trying to get their response, trying to bring them in. Those are definitely the wrong things to be doing.
One thing we're not trying to do with this channel is prove to you that they exist. We're leave that for the other channels. They can be back there trying to catch the prince and doing those different things. We already know they exist. We already know the government knows about them. We already know that the military knows about them. We already know it's being covered up. We're not starting from there. We want to start and get y'all to here and then move on from this. Totally different kind of channel. We want to keep going. And make up for lost time because of all the disinformation that's been put out there for years now.
And also, like we're saying, keep sending, keep posting those blurs, keep posting that pixelation, keep posting that dark shadow. It don't matter
Stand your ground.
If these other people are going to try to mock you or whatever. Don't worry about that. Just post it. Other people are seeing the same things.
Mm-hmm.
They need to see that someone else is seeing what they're seeing. How many people have been told they're crazy or that, or, you know, or even some people think that they themselves are crazy for seeing some of these things, or blurs or shadows going by and just catching glimpses and things like that. You're not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
These things are real. We see them too. In the DVD, you're going to see a lot of things that you've never seen before, but you can share that information with somebody.
And the tide is turning. The pushback is not as much as even 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah. It used to be worse. So right now you have that opportunity to post those pictures, and everybody else now are trying to see what you're trying to show them instead of just blowing it off and, oh, it's blurry, I'm not even going to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, you're getting only the blur or the shadow or that dark spot. So keep sharing them.
And they're programmed to say that. They're just programmed to say it.
They are.
We've had people tell him, well, you like almost demand that he change the name Bigfoot Expert. And we're like, well, do you have a question for him? That no question. I agree with we've literally had them say, I agree with everything he's saying. I've seen everything he's saying. He's answered every question. I just don't like that name, Bigfoot Expert. Okay, get over it. You know, just get over the titles and just learn what we're trying to teach y'all. It's we're not here for our help.
Yeah, and everyone who's, you know, with this channel and has been with this channel, I would say y'all are experts too. Y'all know more than the researchers. Y'all know more than anybody, especially if you have this DVD and has been staying with this channel. Call yourself an expert. You know where to look for them, what to look for, what they smell like, what their DNA is, where their origin is. It's all on the DVD.
And really, it's only been the last few years that they've even not said that there was any Bigfoot experts. If you look back and just do a simple word search, and there's all kinds of articles where they talk about Bigfoot experts. He's just cheeky enough to, you know, from in the past, but he's just cheeky enough to do it now, and just because he's answering questions nobody else has answered. That's the whole reason I ended up here. The people that I knew that were researchers were not answering my questions. They weren't lining up with what I was seeing. It's the same reason I've left some churches, because what I was reading in the Bible or what I was experiencing was not lining up with what they were telling me. And those two things intersect also. Sheila, hey Sheila. Sheila R, I'm so late. Yes, you are.
Sheila.
What is going on?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Jeffy said, she says, do you think, why do you think the government?
I think Jeremy said something. Oh.
Jeremy says we're way past proving it. You're absolutely right. Yeah, let's get over that. I know firsthand that they exist. Yes, I think probably most of us on this channel do.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're in this. That's why we're here. Got that one.
Charles says he knows firsthand they exist.
Sheila says, why do you think the government is covering this up? I apologize if you've explained this before. Money and power.
Well, also, this has been a long kind of thing. It's called the end game. We're coming up on that. The military has been lied to also. Through history, through ancient history, when these things have happened, they've used the military to help hoard things, but then they turn on their own military little by little and one by one. So the military, even people who would help them, from the federal agencies to the state agencies to the city, you have to understand, unless you're a part of the royal families, you're still a pawn. The state, the federal, all them, they don't have the information that you would get right here. You could be one of the highest in like a state trooper or something. If you're not part of that royal family, you're just a pawn. They will use you just like they have in history. It's been done over and over and over. Just that history has been erased, and that the people don't know. They're thinking, hey, we're in the military, we're going to be safe. No, you're a private. Even the colonels, you're not the royal family. You have to understand, there's a Swiss Guard. That's not a job. That's a life achievement. And you're not in the Swiss Guard. You're not a part of the royal family. Don't think that you're going to be avoided when the rapture, when the day of reckoning, when all this comes to a head. You're only hurting yourself by blocking this information or not receiving your information. You need this information before any of this thing. We're ahead. We're trying to get you ahead of the ballgame. We're trying to get you further than everybody else.
One thing 2020 should have done is across the board, everybody should know by now that we're being lied to in just about everything around us, from entertainment to medicine to politics, education. We're all being lied to. The Bible also says that he will use the foolish to confound the wise, meaning the simple people that they think they're so far superior to will be able to figure out things, and they won't even know how, if we're on that path of, and I'm not saying simple-minded, I'm saying simple-hearted, innocent people will be used to expose these.
And a lot of people
creeps.
Just don't really understand that all this information that we're giving you and showing you and gifting you, this is another way that you're supposed to be getting this information. You're supposed to be accepting this information and studying it, looking at it, testing it. It's your information that you're supposed to be getting. If you don't have it, there's a lot of things that are coming, and we've talked about that through other streams, but you won't know about the demons. You won't know what to do, how to do certain things through deterrences and things like that.
We're not trying to scare anybody, just prepare. That's all
Prepare.
we're doing.
We want warriors prepared.
We were born for this time.
Yeah, we were all born for this time, like TrackerElla said. We are warriors. We are here now. We need everyone on the same page. We need everybody ready. Training each other, training your kids. Don't leave them out there as toddlers, as children who don't know anything. You've got to teach them, carry everything on.
And stop talking about how sorry all these young people are. We've talked about this before. I can't think of another generation that has just been put down so much. What would they have to live up to? Who thrives under those kind of words? So start building up the young people around you, and teach them to be warriors. Teach them that they're not a sum of their dysfunctions. That's just ridiculous society's programming. This week's catchphrase is narcissist. Just enough with all that. Teach these kids to be strong, and that we all have to fight back evil together.
There's another question I want to ask real fast. And now, during the altercation of whenever the entire kind of first group, when the guy was talking and that attack happened, one of the warriors had got his arm cut off in the film Prey. What did that warrior do before his head was cut off? What did that warrior do after his hand was cut off? He looked up at the predator's face. What did he do before his head was cut off? Oh, we'll get a couple more until we get those answers in.
Sheila says, hey, Jeremy. Jeremy says, I'm happy to have an expert to learn from.
Thank you, Jerry.
Me too.
Tracker E, and we got a lot of trackers who are experts in this field now. I guess we got a couple.
Okay. Red Canyon says, the egos of the people interested in these are really inflated. If you mention one thing they don't agree with, they go into full attack mode. Oh boy, have we seen that?
They've tried.
We've been booted out and blocked. And
yeah, we kicked off a podcast, kicked off a group.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And that tells you there's an agenda, because they shouldn't be that vicious. So there's people behind that are, they've got a reason.
But we've called them out too.
Yeah. Cover up to start with. They're more proof of the Bible's truth. Absolutely.
Hey, there you go.
And yeah, I don't know why Christians get upset when they see biblical things begin to happen, because that should increase your faith that what you read is true. That should be getting us excited. Like, let's go, let's do this. We're, Red Canyon. Secondly, the government has little control of them, and that's tough for them to admit. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the government don't even know how less of control they have over them.
And we know
because they are deceivers.
Right. And also we battle against the spirit behind these things. Sheila says, Red Canyon, I wondered if that was the case. Red Canyon says, David was looked upon as a peasant until he slayed Goliath. That's absolutely right. And I love this story about Caleb too. We need to be that brave. That
goes with...
absolutely. Yep.
We'll say that one again. Talked about.
This one? Mm-hmm. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter.
And even David, he had to figure out who is this giant? What's going on? What do I need?
And have faith.
And
hope. And hope. Why on earth would any believer not have hope? That's like the opposite of all this worry. Is like praying for what you don't want. Stop doing that. Mm-hmm. Red Canyon says, we're all God's children made in his image to do his work. That's right.
And that means do the work.
Yeah. Actively.
Be who you say you are, because once you meet a demon here or there, you better be who you say you are. When you're talking to something that will know if you're telling the truth or not.
If you want to use that get out of jail free card, you better be worthy.
You better be worthy.
Or you better believe it, have faith in it. Jeremy, we're too far behind in technology because of politics. Well, they're more advanced with what they're doing, but with what they allow to us.
Actually, this DVD makes the technology obsolete.
Iron Horse. Hi, Iron Horse. YouTube hasn't been letting me chat. See if this goes through. It did, and we're glad you're here.
Nice to meet you, Iron Horse.
Charles says, I don't know. Little Red says he kept fighting. Jeremy says, sometimes my phone doesn't spell what I say. Yeah.
Okay, so what happened was he got his arm cut off, and then the warrior looked up. Whenever the predator became untranslucent, the warrior screamed. Warriors don't make noise out there in the field, and we definitely don't scream. You're not going to hear a death from a warrior. Warriors don't scream.
Mr. L says, not sure. Direct eye contact? Yes, Faith of David. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did he make direct eye contact?
He looked up. He looked up, but he screamed. And like, if you've been with this channel, we said you have to prepare for the most gruesomest, vicious, but we also said that this is the way they look. Another predator, another dogman, whatever, they're not going to scream at that one. They're not going to be afraid of that one. That's the way it looks. No, that's the way it's supposed to look. It doesn't matter if it's vicious, snarling, whatever. That's how it looks. Don't be afraid of the way it's supposed to look.
Mm-hmm. Charles says, Jerry, did he say he gave up?
No, he just screamed. He looked up and he screamed. The warriors don't do that. You're not going to hear us screaming in battle or things like that. Those war cries and stuff, that's the beginning. And then it's just on after that. If that's a full battle, then you will hear that. But like out there in the woods, you're not going to hear them making noise or giving away their position. Everyone should have been attacking at the same time. You'll never see anybody going there one-on-one and try to let them fight a Bigfoot or a predator one-on-one. You got weapons, you use them, every one of y'all.
That's the thing too about the movie that I hope it's not too soon for this, but you mentioned that at the end it's just most of the warrior men are gone. Mm-hmm. And it's the women who they weren't letting be warriors, they were just being the gatherers, and the children. So now what? You know, they fought this one girl that wanted to be a warrior tooth and nail, and she was the only female that was. We can't do that. We have to teach our girls to be strong too, teach our boys to be strong, and that's it.
Yeah, and that at the very end, there was just mostly women, like Tracker was saying. You have to be very observant about that, because there was only like older people. There were there any? I don't think there was any like warriors there. It was like the older or the chief or the older men. Every one of us has to be warriors. Every one of us has to be spiritual warriors. We have to know everything that is going to help us, protect us and our families.
Jeffrey says, be on the watch for my next book, The Missing Links, going to be educational for the skeptics, LOL. Cool, interested in that. Thank you, Jeffrey, for coming to the show. Jeremy Wilson says, I always remember Jesus said, do not fear. Absolutely. Fear is a demon. Fear is a weapon that you use against yourself. And they feed on fear. It's an energy. They will eat it. They will eat the fear. They will eat the adrenaline that's in your blood. That's why they like to scare the crap out of people before they attack. Okay.
So in this whole film break, it was a great movie. We do recommend that you see it.
Yeah.
And if you do have the DVD, you'll understand what we're talking about, how the way we do things, we track what we look for, the signs, the sounds, all that is in the DVD. You will learn all those, but pay attention, because we have watched this documentary with multiple people, not just one or a couple, but multiple people. And every time they always turn around or they look at their phone or they get up to do something and they miss that important information.
The same thing happens when we spiritually cleanse a house. Something will happen, a phone call, something will happen to try to distract us and to stop that energy.
And when people don't pay attention and don't listen and do it a certain way, everything's going to come back anyway. You have to stay on top of everything, from your yard, your house, inside your house, everything. Stay up on it. Don't think that one cleansing is going to work. I mean, it will work, but you have to stay up on it.
Just like other kinds of cleaning. Yeah. Charles says, I'm that old man, but I'm a warrior. Absolutely. Age has nothing to do with
We know
spirit.
that, Charles. We know. We know.
And we know what a good shot you are.
Yep.
Linda Garcia, I have many granddaughter warriors. Praise God. Absolutely.
Good.
Strong girls. Good.
Keep them all strong. Keep them all.
And keep your spiritual armor strong. And if it's something you need to shoot it too. I mean, you got to be strong physically and spiritually. People seem to think you have to be one or the other. Be both.
Yes.
Verses
and so whenever we was talking about the warrior, which they weren't trained by us like everyone here. Anybody who's been with us, this is training. This is what we would teach our trackers, our other warriors. You're getting training here. And if you have the DVD, like in the movie or the film, if they had that DVD, it would have been a whole different situation. They would have eradicated that problem as soon as it arose. They would have all knew what to do. The whole village would have been in on it. The women, children, everything would have done their part to rid themselves of these predators that are hunting them. Mm-hmm. So that warrior screamed when he actually viewed what the predator looked like. So we want to read off this one verse real fast and talk a little bit about that also.
Okay, and North Kisachi Gal says, amen, sister. My 15-year-old granddaughter watched with me. Very good. Very good. Strong, intelligent young lady. And good. She's going to be the warrior for her generation.
Sure will be.
We've got the two earlier verses were Proverbs 25:2, Hosea 4:6. Y'all look those up. But the two we'd like to end with are Luke 21:26. Men's hearts will fail them from fear and the expectation of those things which are coming upon the earth, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. That's Luke 21:26. The other is Psalms 91:7. 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not approach you. All of Psalms 91 is good, but that verse in particular always encourages me.
So remember that. Prepare for that. Prepare for your battle. Prepare for your war. Everyone's going to have their own war. Everyone's going to have their own battle. When our trackers go out into the field, we all carry our own weapons. Those weapons are for each individual person. We're not carrying weapons for the next person or someone who doesn't believe that these Bigfoots are out there. If you're going to do that, you stay home. When we're out in the field, this is serious work because people can get hurt out there, and we do not want that. We want everybody coming home safe. So always carry your own weapons out there. There's no fear out there. There's no fear anywhere. It's only been taught to you. So
and if you have a weakness, don't take it personal. Just figure out what it is and work to strengthen that weakness. Physical, spiritual, addiction, whatever it is, figure it out and get yourself stronger. I need more practice with moving targets. I've been trying to learn how to do that, and I'm going to do a whole lot more. It's something I've never been exposed to in my life. I never got to hunt or anything like that. it's just a weakness that I have that he would probably say, don't tell me about your weakness. But I'm only saying that so that y'all would get stronger too, and I'm going to keep pushing on it too to get stronger. We all have places we need to tighten up. Iron sharpens iron. Mr. L says, may the Lord strengthen and empower you, Charles. Amen to that.
Yes,
and
Charles.
Jeremy Wilson says, right on.
All right.
That's right.
So we're going to ask Tracker E to give us a few words, and then we'll play the music that we had, and we're going to fade out for tonight. We'll be back in 2 nights. Traps and ambushes. You don't want to miss that one either, because you do need to know where these are, what they look like, and we'll have some pictures and hopefully some video for you on that.
All right, we just close in prayer. Thank you, Lord, for everybody that you put on our path, and just for protecting our path. And we ask that everybody just gain the knowledge from this that they need, and we know that your timing is perfect. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, so everyone have a good night.
Thank you for coming here. Thank you to the new people. Thank you to our older friends. And we love y'all.
And we'll be back in 2 nights, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. As soon as you can get this DVD, let us know. Mary, we will be sending that out with you as soon as we get your information. And everyone else, as soon as you can get your information, get your DVD, please do so. We will be back in 2 nights. We're going to just run a couple of pictures. Then we're going to fade out for the night.
And everybody's just saying good night. Good night, y'all. Take care.
Good night,
thank you for being
everybody.
here. Thank you for being warriors.
Be warriors. Don't be the prey.
Do you dare look around? Somewhere down.
Good night.
Way down.